Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Sir Nate here. Today I'm going to be bringing a little bit of a different video to you guys. This is actually going to start my Total War series, and I'm going to start it off with one of my favorite all-time Total Wars, and that is Medieval 2. Now, this game came out back in 2006. It's a pretty old game. It's almost 20 years old. We're getting up there. Uh, I have been playing since I was 8 years old. I've played just about every faction. As you can see up here, I only have these 5 unlocked. Truthfully, I'm not 100% sure why. I used to have them all. I don't know if it's because I did get a new PC. I don't know if it corrupted my save files when I switched over. Anyways, I'm going to be starting off. Usually I play as France, or I'm sorry, England, but I do want to switch it up a little bit and play as France. So I'm going to go ahead. I always play on, I don't always, but as of recently, I've been playing very hard. I've been playing this for so long that it's not as much of a challenge on easy, medium, even hard's really not crazy. So I like to have control over all my cities at all times. I'm going to have that checked. No battle time limit. Sometimes that can hurt you if you're trying to like fight an attrition battle, I suppose. But it is what it is. And then I don't like seeing the CPU moves. I'd rather be surprised at the end of the turn. Because in the late game, all of the little agents will be running around your country and you have to watch them all move around and it takes forever. So, uh, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I am going to cut out this little cutscene here because, well, I'm just going to skip it because it takes forever. So here we have the overhead map. This game, for those of you who aren't familiar with Total War, um, it's a mix of turn-based and real-time strategy. How it works is you have this overhead map, and whenever I try to explain this game to like my friends and family that don't play PC games, I kind of describe it as like a chessboard, I suppose. It's the best. Like these are a game board, I suppose. These are little game pieces. And you move them around, and inside the piece, like this is a little army here. You have your soldier cards. So you see this is 112 soldiers that are spear militia, and you kind of move them around the map here, make them do what you want them to do. You have spies, princesses, you get merchants, diplomats, priests, cardinals, all kinds of different agents, even assassins. Assassins are very important in my opinion. So you have these little towns and castles here, like Paris is a city, so it's going to be managed differently than a castle would be. Cities can only really recruit militia units. So militia, historically speaking, basically just people thrown together into a group to fight. They're not really professionally trained. They're not as efficient on the battlefield, and they have much lower morale than your professional soldiers like feudal knights or sergeants, uh, professional crossbowmen. So, and you have castles over here. This is just a little wooden castle. It'll eventually develop into a citadel later down the line. And in the castles, you can actually recruit like more professional soldiers like mailed knights or mounted sergeants, professionally trained. You can see as this upgrades, I'll show you guys the building browser real quick. As you progress through the different stages, and keep in mind this is just what you can recruit with the actual castle. Like all the way, you work up mailed knights, mounted sergeants. Upgrading to a regular castle gives you legitimate stone walls, defensive towers, and then you grade it to fortress. You get feudal knights, dismounted feudal knights, heavy infantry essentially, and then you get down to the citadel and you get even more knights. You get noble knights. You get well, those are dismounted noble knights. Then you get legitimate noble knights, um, and then the buildings like you look at a city in the town watch, you can recruit town militia, just guys with the spear and a shield. The garrison quarter and the castle, you can recruit sergeant spearmen. They do have the same card as militia spearmen, um, but they have higher morale and they're the more professional version of spearmen. Go back all the way down at the bottom at the militia drill square in a city. You can make Volga militias, which they're pretty nice. They'd work pretty well. And you can make crossbow militias. And then at the armory for the castle, you can make legitimate pikemen, or you can make actual Volgiers, or you can make armored sergeants. So that's essentially how the recruitment works between city and castle. So I'm going to do a couple turns here. I usually start out right away. I take the most nearby rebel settlements, just so I can kind of get that extra boost in income rolling in.
Where shall we strike? Orders?
Seigneur. Get these guys merged up.
Forces, Seigneur. We shall slaughter.
Unlike a lot of Total War players, I do auto resolve a lot of battles. You'll see what I mean when I say
Orders?
that. Here.
Orders?
All right. Très bien. On behalf of France.
Mon roi?
So if you have a priest or a cardinal selected, you can hover over a state, a region. I don't know what you'd call these. I call them states. Basically, this city's border, or this castle's borders are right here. They cut off down here somewhere. And you can see the religion that's more predominant. So I can't even say predominant. If you're Catholic, it's going to show Catholic. If you're Islamic, it's going to show Islamic. And if you hover over, you see this castle region is 85% Catholic. You want to get it up to 100. It helps your public order. Come up here, you see, basically, this is a 90% Catholic. This Brittany area up here.
An order? Oui, Seigneur. To battle it is, then, Seigneur.
Get rolling here. Now, I do just want to do a disclaimer before I start doing this stuff. I am by no means a professional Total War player. I'm not one of these gigantic YouTube channels who gets millions of views on their videos and can tell you every single thing about these games. I really just do this for fun. It's just something I do in my spare time, and I figured I'd bring you guys along. I always try to explain this game to my friends and family. They never know what I'm talking about. So having these videos is, kind of will just help me bring them in and let them see what I do for fun. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start building. I kind of lean on financial things and roads. It's usually the first thing I build. So, and it's not a good idea to queue things up like this, but getting started out here, a lot of these buildings have 1-turn build times, and I really don't want to have to micro into every single town over and over again, so I'm just going to get some things set up.
Orders?
I'm not going to have any crazy expenditure on soldiers right away, so I'm not incredibly worried about that right out the gate.
Oui.
Turn. So in the end of the turn, it'll just kind of run through everybody's turn. Like I said, it's a mix between turn-based and real-time.
From England.
I love these. Sometimes you can kind of get some money out of these guys too. You demand like nothing crazy, but gold. Maybe offer map information.
It's good to see we
it's
could
just
reach
free
an
money.
agreement until we meet again, sire.
So every once in a while, your royal family will say they can actually go ahead and adopt people. So I actually look for slightly better command than this, but he has high loyalty. He's pretty reasonably pious. He's got some good traits: confident attacker, confident defender. I'm gonna go ahead and I know that might be a turn off. I'm just kidding. No, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and recruit him in. And that was a mission. Sometimes you get missions from your council of nobles, or the Pope will give you missions. Even enemy factions sometimes will give you missions. Like the Prince of England, for example, could offer me like 7,500 gold to send an assassin up and kill the king so he can become the king. I always think that's a pretty interesting
Seigneur.
mission to get.
To battle for mon roi, for
Since this
France.
town doesn't have
Oui,
legitimate walls
beginning the
yet,
siege at
you can only
once.
build rams to kick in the gate. Once you get up to a larger town, like Paris over here, they'll have stone walls, and then you can actually build ladders and climb the walls.
The siege goes
You
as
guys will get
planned,
to see
mon
all
roi.
this stuff.
Where shall we strike? They will regret crossing France, mon roi. They have nowhere to run now. Sieging.
We only have a couple.
Let us stop waiting and take the walls, we?
You're building, you're building, you're building. If you do have a construction project going on, you can just look at this little overlay here. You can see I'm currently constructing a small chapel. It's in the green because it has proper funding, so it's going to go ahead and build automatically. You can see your population is increasing. Whenever plagues come or riots start happening, your population might stagnate. It'll turn yellow with a minus. Or, well, it wouldn't be minus, it would just turn yellow. And then if it was decreasing from death, like when the Black Death comes, you'll see what I'm talking about. It'll be negative because your population is dying. And that's your public order. Loyalty, they call it. Public order. You can actually go ahead and see this stuff more in depth. You have all these different factors. You have your religion. If you have like a disparity, like you can see I'm only 70% Catholic. I have some pagan and heretic religion going on here. That's gonna, if that gets crazy, it'll add more and more of this religious unrest here, and it'll start to cancel out my garrison and my law, health, governor's influence. So, the biggest one for me is squalor. But that one gets kind of annoying. If you have high health and you manage your population right, you don't have to worry too much about it. But
Oui, seigneur.
that's the most persistent one. You can see overhead. Go ahead and end the turn. So my immediate neighbors, for those who aren't geographically inclined or aren't familiar with the game, see, this is why you don't do stuff here. I don't know what tried building. Oh my goodness, that's fine. Now we're in the negative. Don't freak out. Nothing to be scared of. Just because we have these queued up production projects like I was talking about, it will pass. I'm not someone who freaks out if I get a negative.
We shall slaughter
So this
them.
is going to be our first battle. So now I'm going to get to show you guys the real-time strategy aspect here. So he has 405 men garrison. I'm attacking with 730. I really don't have a heavy melee presence going in here, so might be a little more of a challenge, but we're gonna send it in.
Once we close, slaughter them all.
Now, if you let this roll for a second, your general will give like a little speech.
It is an honor to be thought a well-educated Frenchman. But I tell you that in all the books I've ever studied, I have never seen an account of something as lowly and disgusting as our foes. Even bookworms and dusty beetles have more pride than they. These rebellious knaves and villains are not fit to breathe the same air as we honest Frenchmen. They must all die before dawn comes again. This is a mercy, because they richly deserve the gallows for turning against their betters.
I always think it's funny to listen to that, but you don't really have to if you don't want to. So since this is just a, you know, let me just check out my sound here. Great. anyways. Oh, man, okay. Well, sorry. What I was gonna do is I was gonna bring my guys up closer so we don't have to walk all the way up here. So, since this is, as I was saying, since this is just a beginning of the game battle, I guess, this is low tier. We're in low tier right now. These castles don't have very high tier defenses, and it looks like they didn't even man them anyway. So these little battlements you see, if I can zoom in. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Well, the little battlements, they'll shoot arrows at you, and if if they're shooting at you for a prolonged amount of time, it can become problematic. Like it can become an issue. But you have to actually man the walls for them to work, which they did not do. So I'm going to kind of bring everyone up a little bit closer. They're probably going to be just in range of the towers, but I'm not too worried about it. Just speed the battle up. I'm going to zoom in real quick for you guys. You can see all the individual little troops marching, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, there they go. Now that they're arming the walls, they're right up there. Now, typically you don't want archers pushing the ram up.
The ladders are now in place. Walls are no match
ram number
for
2.
valor and force of arms.
Now, if I'd have been closer up to the wall, though, that wouldn't have happened. Which sucks, but it's okay. You see, they've really stuck this wall up. I might send another group up to fight. Quick morale boost. You got it, baby. Get up there. Alright, so it looks like they didn't get enough hits on the ram, so it's going to go ahead and do its thing. Now, since we're dealing with a pretty small rebel army, if this was going to be, like, a more serious battle,
it will not be
like,
long before our
where there were
enemy's
high
defenses
stakes,
fall.
I probably would have brought more guys. But, just the very first castle. You can see they don't really have anything back here.
The battering ram has done its work. Now it is time for brave hearts and brave deeds.
I'm gonna kind of just run right in here. Now, is this the most efficient way to do this? No, it is not. But I really don't. I'm not too concerned about it right now, because send these guys up the wall here. Hunt these boys. And then I'm sure between my mailed knights and general's body,
we have captured the enemy's walls.
they got this little spear boy. Sometimes it can be kind of buggy, but okay.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Now, we're posed with the big question here. Is it wise to charge directly into a spear wall? No. Not by any means. But, like I said, we're just going to try to kill these guys as quick as we can. It looks like they're not even fighting back. And you can cheese the game too. Like I could just click.
Très bien. The enemy general lies dead. We have sent the cur to hell.
I could just like click really quickly back here, and they would force
Only
their way
half the
through,
enemy force
and then click
remains.
attack, and they would kill everybody around them quite quickly. It looks like we got like a bugged out AI team. That's
Montjoisson. Curses! Our men no longer command the castle.
maybe this is one of like my toxic traits, but like I
This
just
is
don't
an
take
act heroic,
the
which
first couple
only belongs
battles
to men of
very
great
seriously. Like
virtue
I
and
probably
valor.
could have done that or did that with fewer casualties, but I mean, it is what it is.
Death by
Now
my
we've taken
hand
the
was
castle and we
always
have a
their
couple
fate.
options. You can
What
occupy
was
it and
the
just get a little bit of
enemy's is
money.
now
You can
yours.
sack it, get a bit more money, but you kill population, or you can exterminate the population. Now I always do that when I go into like Egypt or Moorish lands, just because you kill the population percentage of Islamics, it'd just be easier to convert, I suppose. But in this case, I'm just gonna occupy. We don't need to kill any population. So now that we've taken that, give it a turn here for our money to go back up. Oh, we could
Orders?
take this one too.
To battle it is, then, Seigneur.
I'm gonna auto-resolve it.
The day is ours, mon roi.
Now in this case,
This land is
I
yours,
am
mon roi.
gonna go ahead and sack it and just get some extra cash. So we got our reward from the mission, 2,500 bucks. That guy got a little bit of command. It's good. And like I said, early game.
Seigneur.
Once you get like late
Orders?
game, you'll start having experience levels on your soldier like that there, that little bar. Then it gets a little bit more difficult to merge them without wasting the experience. This is the Pope overlay. I'm pretty much neck and neck with everybody. You can increase relations with him by having more priests, converting more of the map to Catholicism, doing missions when he asks you to do missions.
You are not my liege.
I'm gonna start getting a little group ready to go up and take this grudges up here. I wanted to say Flanders for some reason. Like right here, the Pope wants me to recruit a priest in the settlement. And that'll give me more reputation with the Pope. Now, if I fail to do it, I'll lose reputation with the Pope, which can put you just one step closer to excommunication. I'll try to hit some of these one-turn buildings real quick. Actually, we should get population growth started early.
I will only address you in battle. Seigneur, mon roi. Orders?
I'm gonna try to get a general out of this.
Closing
Oh, never
to
mind, I
engage.
forgot they're gonna jump up.
Oui, Seigneur.
Maybe not now.
Seigneur, moving to engage the enemy.
Man,
Mon roi,
how do you figure?
come and fight me,
Oh
you
yeah,
coward.
right, because they couldn't kill two units across. Okay.
Seigneur, Mon roi. Seigneur. Orders?
Another thing that's probably not good about me is I don't like having ridiculously off numbers of
Mon
soldiers.
roi. Seigneur. Mon roi. Orders? Mon roi. Seigneur. Mon roi.
Come on.
Seigneur.
Oh,
Mon
those are
roi.
sergeants here. Okay. What the heck's going on here?
God's servant.
I'm gonna run through a couple more turns, let you guys just kind of
Master.
see how the beginning starts out for me. Then I'll probably go ahead and
Discreetly,
conclude today's
Seigneur.
video.
For France. Not somewhere Madame should be going.
Okay, steal
I
the
was
general.
not
Oh
about
yeah, I
to
pulled it off.
refuse the
Stole the
hand
general.
of a Parisian princess.
That's what's up.
Orders?
Oh yeah. Not happy about that. You can see they have a pretty reasonable garrison in here, but nothing I can't handle.
Done for today.
So not enough to get another cross, but he likes me more now. Something else that's cool is you have like your family tree here. You see I got King Philip. Since King Philip's daughter married Robert, that technically made him my king's adopted son. And then you have Prince Louis, his true-born heir down here. And then Prince Louis's son, Parrot, who must have been adopted. Oh yeah, that was the guy I adopted earlier on, since he didn't have any sons. And then down here you have King Philip's two other sons. Whenever they turn 18, they will actually turn into generals on the map. Or 16, I think it's 16 actually.
I will only address you in battle. Seigneur.
Jean must.
Mon, oui, Seigneur. To battle for mon roi, for France.
I guess I'll just do this quick little battle here and then go ahead and finish up the video for you guys.
Await my order.
You see the AI position themselves on the high ground. So I'm just going to slow march them up there on 6 speed. That way I can preserve their stamina. You can see they're fresh right now and they're eager. If you run them around the map, like sprint them all over the place, they'll start to lose stamina. And if they get to be like exhausted or tired or very tired, they'll both lose morale and they'll move and fight slower. Run right in there now. Now the AI is going to make them retreat, but I'm going to try to stick them down with my
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours. Très bien. The enemy general lies dead. We have sent the cur to hell. The enemy flees the
pretty
battle.
clean battle. I'm going to go ahead and mop them up though.
Peasants.
Farm some experience for my general here. You can see down here, they'll start turning them into POWs. Since they're rebels, you can't ransom them or anything. Now, if I was fighting the English and I was rounding them up like this, I could actually ransom them back to the English and get some money for it. But all they're good for now is little bits of experience. I'd say that's enough. I'm gonna go ahead and exit now.
This is an
I don't
act
want this to go
heroic,
for too
which
long.
only... The day is ours, mon roi. Seigneur. Oui,
Okay, I'm
mon
back. And with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video for you guys. I
Oui,
am
Seigneur.
planning on making this into a series.
By
So
your
this
will,
will be
Seigneur.
episode 1 of the series. Just kind of wanted to break things down, introduce it to people who've never seen it before so they got a feel for it. And going forward, I'm going to kind of show my gameplay. My plan is to obviously take over the world, which I've done. I've actually done it a few times as the Holy Roman Empire. I really like playing as them, but I kind of wanted to switch it up. It's either these guys or mainly England, but I enjoy them both. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the content today. I'm planning on, like I said, making this a series. So if you guys want to see more, make sure to like, comment, and if you wanted to follow along on this campaign, of course, subscribe so you can see them as they come out. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video.